Thank you for inviting me to be here with you. And I'll thank for all those days that I'm to speak something. I'll just start with one small story that goes for Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha was invited by somebody at his home. And when he was invited, Lord Buddha meaning is awakened. You know? Buddha meaning is awakened. And awakened people, they are always efficient. They are appropriate. Another word for that is apt. Apt and appropriate, it is almost the same. You know? So Lord Buddha, when he was invited at the residence of somebody, that person, he was a farmer. And his bulls, they were lost. Lord Buddha's arrival, that was expected. And then he also had this another task now that he has to look for his bulls. Now he was lost in some kind of thoughts of his, what to do. Lord Buddha is arriving, and then once I am not there, I am the host for it. He will certainly feel bad for it. And maybe if he feels insulted, sometimes he may go to any extent. But then at the same time, bulls, they have to be found out because he is a farmer, he cannot do without that. Now, what you could have done? One decision was to be made whether to search for bulls or to wait for Lord Buddha, listen to his sermon. Which one is more appropriate? Or what should be done first? I'll ask that. What could have been done? Suppose you were there in place of that farmer. What you would have done? One decision was to be made, na? Either waiting for Lord Buddha or looking for your bull. Hai na? Ah. I just like to know one decision of yours. Waiting for Buddha first. Welcoming Buddha first. Okay, next child to you. What you would have done? Okay, ठीक है. Last child there, Yaman. Next, waiting for it. And don't do it. Generally, don't copy. It's not advisable. Okay. We are all individuals. Yesterday also I told you, and we need to use our own intellect, our own buddhi. And the farmer did not follow you. Okay. The farmer did not follow. He went in search of his bulls first, looked for them. Lord Buddha arrived at his residence, waited for some time for the presence of the host. When he did not arrive, he left along with all his disciples, followers, and all. Now it took long time for him to come back, and then he found Lord Buddha is already gone. Next day, he went to him and asked for forgiveness. He said, I'm very sorry that I could not wait for your arrival. And it's certainly bad on my part that I was not there when I invited you. When somebody waits for it, that means he plays on emotions. No, I must wait because I have invited somebody. And when he comes, he doesn't find me, which way he is going to feel. है ना? That means feeling. And in that case, when feeling, so mind, emotions. And the other day also I told you, when there is a clash between head and heart, though one child suggested it is okay, but then head has to be used. And then when he shared this feeling of his to Lord Buddha supported his decision. He said, "You did the right thing." How it was right, that also was spoken by Lord Buddha. You lost your bulls. You depend on bulls. Your farming, your fields, your earning is all that. Had you not gone in search of them, you must have lost them totally. And had you come without searching for them to my gathering, there also there would have been no use of being present. That is the lesson. Listening is not sufficient. Being present is not sufficient. But then listening and understanding and then following. That is what it is of some importance, otherwise, there is no meaning of it. That is what I said. You listen to Ramayana, you listen to Gita, and if you don't follow it, there is no use of it. Then what for you go? Is there any benefit of just being there in that sermon which you don't like to apply in your life? That is what Lord Buddha spoke to him, and he said, "You did the right thing." Because this would have been haunting you even when you were here present listening to my sermons. Sermons would have not served its purpose. You would have been always thinking of your bulls. You found out your bull, and now today you are peaceful. It's okay, we can again have that. I'm not at all unhappy with your decision. And that is how decision making sometimes, when there is a buddhi involved, intellect involved, that helps you. So listen well and kindly follow it up. Otherwise, you could check. Okay, sir, that sometimes it's not possible for me to follow. Then unnecessarily wasting my time and your time is of no meaning. But then at the same time, of course, this also I can add up. Nobody knows what strikes somebody's mind. Most of the things, they just go over your head, or you don't pay attention to. But then somewhere something may strike that may help you. So that is how sometimes presence, and then somebody who has to speak, his speaking, that also becomes essential. I'll now ask you some of the things. What are the signs of intelligence? What are the signs of wisdom? Or when can you say that here lies the wisdom of an individual? What are the signs? Suppose among yourselves, or you yourselves can have an introspection. What kind of intelligence do I have? Or what kind of people are really intelligent? One sign, okay, I'll just start with, yeah, so that you get the ways. Like yesterday also I did it. Today again, I'll just say, one who doesn't hanker about the worldly things is a wise man. Okay. Like every day change the dress. Look at it number of times. How I'm looking. You have the same dress, it doesn't matter. Or you look at any genius of this earth. and look at the dress. Is it common? Normal. Sometimes one may put on number of times the same dress. Every day changing your dress. Or you have those wardrobes full of your plenty of dresses. Go on changing like 10 times in a day. Will it bring any wisdom to you? Not at all. No. So that means things which are of external nature, there is no meaning. There is no meaning. Like just see, we give an example of Narada also. Narada, Rishi. You know that. Eh? And then those four Kumars of the same age, always young children. Sanat Kumar, Sanandan, Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar. You know? Those four. So one day, Narada, he was examining himself. He says, I have so many qualifications. I had done graduation, post graduation, PhD, and I am still not at peace. I have read Vedas, Upanishad, Puran, everything of this world is known to me. But I am still disturbed. I am not able to settle at one particular place. I go on wandering. My mind is restless. Then he asked those Kumars, these Sanat Kumar and all. He said, what is the reason? What could be the reason? What could be the reason for it? What could be the reason for that restlessness? Involving yourself in so many things. You have number of friends is a source of disturbance, remember it. You have so many belongings lying around is a source of disturbance. Your junk yard is full of, is going to breed a lot of insects and other things. Those who keep less things, those who keep small number of friends to help, that's it. So that is what sign of intelligence is. The first sign of intelligence. It's okay. I have so many people connected to me. I see thousands of them. And if I look at everyone's message, is a hell with me. Like how can I? But then people get connected to me. I don't look at anybody's. I generally don't wish also anybody. I don't wish. Sometimes when it is very important for me, I send greetings. Sometimes when it comes to, yeah, I must send to this person. One who is an of bit sincerity, honesty, there I send it. Otherwise, I just find it unnecessary disturbance to my life, personal life. Follow? The first sign of intelligence is okay. Got it? Okay. Now you start with any of the sign of intelligence that you have with you, or that you are noticed in somebody, or you say, okay, sir, continue, continue. You say so. Eh? Ah,
So making right decision at right time.
that is wisdom, no doubt. Making right decision at the right time is a wisdom. But sign I am asking. Sign.
Ignoring the negativity coming towards
Yes,
us.
that is very important. Very important. ठीक है? Somebody shouts at you. Somebody balks at you. Somebody doesn't appreciate you. Somebody reminds you your failures, or you have failed because of certain reasons, or somebody passes such kind of comments which you don't appreciate. Doesn't matter. That is what we say. Forget about it. Or we say intelligent people don't crib over the past. They don't lament on anything. They just forget about it. Because if you involve yourself in the past, you can never think of the future. So, never. If there have been debacles, if there have been failures, it's always there with everyone. Can you tell me one person who has not failed? Everyone has failed. Everyone. Even Lord Rama's examples can be taken. Lord Krishna's examples can be taken. They failed at some or the other moment. This is the example of leaving Mathura and going at sea so establishing Dwarika. That also is a sign of the same. Leaving the past. That is very good. Very good. So this will avoid all fights also. All grievances of yours. No regrets will be there with you. Because if you remember them, it's a waste of your energy. Unnecessary. Waste of your resources. Resources, energy. Any other thing? Somebody says, yes, that also is there. I'll give you one more example. Then sometimes it will be more clear. There was one person who was meditating in the forest, monk. And these people, those who meditate and they don't pay attention to other things anyway, they are always to their own sense. You know? They don't look around what one is doing and all that. They don't get disturbed also because of anything. So there comes a woodcutter. And that woodcutter has been cutting the wood, but he never bothered about the monk. He will cut his woods and will go back. It happened number of times. A day came when monk himself talked to him. He said, "Hey, my dear woodcutter, you must have amassed lot of wealth because wood is very costly." He says, "No, not that. I don't have much wealth. I just cut some wood, sell them off, earn my livelihood. Don't you like to get rich?" Yes, certainly. But then this wood won't make me. Then go inside. There are chandan woods. Chandan is okay. Costly ones. Go inside. There are chandan woods. Is it? He doubted his statement. He said, "This monk, how he knows about this. He's a still he just followed him. And next day he went in and he really found chandan woods. And then he started cutting those, selling them off, having more money now, costlier ones, and he was really happy. And he continued that for a number of days. And then after a good number of days, again that monk asked other day. He said, "Now you must be very wealthy." "Yes, of course." "And are you satisfied?" "No, satisfaction doesn't come that way." "Then why don't you go inside?" What is there inside? Okay, there are mines. There are mines. In those mines, you have something like copper and other mines. Whatever you like to. Gold mines are also there. Is it? So he tried with copper mines and then to the gold mines, and now a big businessman. And then after a few years or so, he hardly went to the monk, expressed his gratitude. No. But then monk himself interacted with him the other day and then asked, how the things are. It's fine now. Are you happy? To certain extent. Is it? Then go inside. There are diamonds. Is it? Then that ambition again rose and he went inside. And then now you can just imagine when he had those diamonds and other jewels, must be one of the richest men. And then continued for years together. And then other day again monk asked, is it okay? No. Satisfaction never arises. Is there anything beyond that? He then asked. Yes, there is something beyond that also. What is that? What is beyond these jewels, diamonds? There I am. Once you go inside, you will find me meditating upon. Why don't you think of when I knew all these kind of things and I am meditating here? That is the richest thing. And that is what one needs. Feel satisfied. Be contented with what you have. Never look towards others, what one has. It's okay. Let somebody have anything. Never why. Never feel jealous of anything. Because they are the signs of worldliness and foolishness. Sign of wisdom, sign of intelligence is only this when you have contentment with. It's not just a philosophy, remember it. The more you go for those kind of things, only dissatisfaction will arise. And dissatisfaction may lead you to the depressions also. And dissatisfaction will lead you to that state where sometimes such kind of decisions are taken by an individual where there is an end to the life. Feel contented. Wherever, whichever kind of things you have, that's it. Be happy. That is a sign of intellect. Okay? Okay. Any other?
One who is patient, punctual to his
Yes.
work, and disciplined in life.
Very good. That is a rich value with an individual. If you have patience, you can fight with anybody daily. You can pick up number of fights on every day and at every issue. No, it's possible now. What is not possible? Not to fight. If you have patience. Somebody used some kind of bad words for you. Somebody criticized you. It's okay. That is his or her decision. No. Which way you are harmed by that? Which way you are harmed? By passing those bad remarks against you? No, you are never harmed. Those remarks will never touch you. Remember it. That is how an example again Buddha has given. When he along with his disciples was moving in the forest and then he halted at a particular place when he was looking for water. And then he sent one of his disciples to bring water. There was a lake. But then that lake was disturbed by cattle. They were having water. And then it was all that water not drinkable, not potable. And he came back. He said, what has happened? There was a lot of earth in it, dust in it, particles, and all that. It was not possible to drink that water. That is why I come empty handed. It's okay. After some time, again he was sent. And now, by the time all those dust particles they were settled, and water was brought. He said, what happened? Now they were all settled. And the water became potable, drinkable, and it was brought. So when you have patience, when you have peace with you, when you don't disturb yourself, you have worth in you. And that is how you can increase your values, by adopting these ways. Once you don't have these kind of things, then you lose values. These are the values of yours. That is what intellect is. That is what we speak of an example of a river also. River during rainy season and river during winter time. During winter, the water that flows in it, what a peace it is. You can throw anything, is visible on the bottom side of it. We say you throw 1 rupee coin, it will be visible clearly. That is what purity is. That is what chastity is. We say na, be chaste, pure. Purity is that. And then during rainy season, the same river is full of water, overflowing, and man looking at it gets afraid of. And it destroys also. Neither water is drinkable. Otherwise, also destruction is caused because of it. So when you are in speed, when you are angry, when you fight, it is that same state you can look at, that it is a river when there is a rainy season and it destroys everything that comes on its way. So you don't have to be that, because it leads you to destruction. So have patience. Otherwise, also, suppose you don't perform well in your life, you have been trying hard. Again, we say, my dear, have patience, don't worry, things will work out. Things will be favorable to you once you have peace. You see, when we start early morning, those prayers, or before we start any kind of program, we can have small prayer, invocations. What it is? That again to give you peace, or bringing yourself to that zero state where no other thoughts are there, and then from there you can make a beginning of. To have patience, that is a sign of intelligence. Okay, then anything else? Abha?
When one is said to be intelligent if he or she understands that the big change cannot be made by changing others rather than changing himself or herself.
Yes, of course. This sign of intellect. Just see, don't expect others to change according to your desires. Why should you? We are not here to change this world. Are we? No. We are here only to build ourselves up, to evolve ourselves, and to get ourselves more and more educated. Education does not mean reading books and all. It doesn't mean. But then adopting and having those values which are of eternal nature, that is an education. Even one who has not visited the school can be an educated one. Like example of Ford is given, the famous industrialist of US, Ford, great that industrialist of it, and highly generous philanthropist with all liberal policies and all that. And then a case was filed against him. Sometimes somebody quoted him as an educated, enlightened, realized person. And then some bad words were used against that person. Says, how can somebody write educated for him? And then case was brought up in the court. There it was proved by him. Ford himself appeared. He said, what education is? Education is when you know the way to find an answer. You know a question. And when you know how to get the answer of that question, that is an education. And then a question was thrown to him. Court ordered. A question was thrown to him, and then he said, I'll not answer. I may not know the answer also, but then I know the source of it. I'll give a call to my manager and he will get you the answer. So when you know the source, that's it. That is sufficient. You can immediately find the answer for these things. It's fine? Okay. Anything else? So there is again,
One who treats all human beings equally and respect all.
yes, very good sign. Very good sign. You see, there are these two philosophies. Generally, we have Dvait and Advait, dualism and non-dualism. These two philosophies, and then there are other philosophies, but major divisions are between these. People say that one is that spirit of the God that we say Brahm, and another is Jeev Atma, that is we are all that. And these two, they say they are separate ones. But there is one where we say Advaitic philosophy, non-dualism. That philosophy speaks of that the same spirit is in all, same conscious is in all, same kind of. Like they give an example of sun, water, and likewise they give an example of the awakened souls, that is same in all. Like water, when you have either of this place or of some other place or of some oceans or rivers, it is the same. There is same constituents are there. Likewise, sun also, it is the same. So that is what the conscious which is there in any being, lower or higher, animals or human, trees or human, or even stones and other soils and all. That is same. Sometimes people say that stones, they don't have consciousness that they speak of, that the spirit is not there, conscience is not there. But then there is a belief, and it is proved also that they do have the same kind of thing. It is spoken that a monk, he prayed, meditated for a number of years, sitting on a small rock, a rock. That is what one needed. He was sitting over it, has been praying for a number of days, number of years, you can say. And then he got enlightened. Thereafter, when he left this body, has gone for his heavenly journey, there he was asked with this question. Okay, you have been praying for such a long time and you did all good things to everyone. You are now an awakened soul. What do you expect from us? There are two ways of it. One, that you did something, you get back that. We say, what you sow, so shall you reap. What you did, you get back that. Or we excuse you for anything that you did because you were Punya Atma. And other one is that we forget about it and you get your salvation, nirvana. We don't remember anything else. He said, what I deserve, I must get it. What I deserve, I must get it. He was very sure of that he did everything right. And he expected salvation otherwise also. He said, it's fine then. It's fine. You have been sitting for such a long time on that sila, on that mountain rock. Now, for the same number of years, keep that sila on your head and stand. reciprocal way, tit for tat. What you did, you get it. So that also happens. Okay. For such a long time, he has been praying, sitting on it, and then when one gets that pride in that I don't have any other way, I'll get all good things. No, there are excuses, there are pardons from Lord Himself, and then we should be grateful also to Him. When somebody feels that there is no such kind of thing as gratefulness and all that, then one gets such treatment also. And he got that treatment. Okay, I've been using that sila for such a long time. Now let that sila be on your head. And it was there. Such examples we find in spirituality. So that is what Advaita or non-dualistic philosophy. Non-dualistic philosophy is that there is a spirit in everything and the same spirit, same Brahman. What is there, that is in us. That is how sometimes never differentiate. Honor everyone, whether one small child or an old man. That small child also needs that same kind of regards as an old man. And even animals also. Give regards to them also. Regards, when I say, don't chase them. Provide them if it is possible something that you have. Is okay. Fine. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? That you find, yes, this is a sign of that intelligence. Yes, that also is there. When you don't like the company of people and you like to be your own self. Like sometimes it happens where such kind of discussions are going on which disturb your mind. Intelligent people, they don't like to be. Most of the people, they have always stayed in isolation, recluse state, recluse state. Most of them, they don't speak much. Sometimes Albert Einstein's example you must be knowing. He was almost 4 years old when he spoke the first sentence. The parents were afraid of, yeah, this child when he is going to speak. He took 4 years to speak one complete sentence. Oh, this is too hard. When soup was being had at their home, no, on the dining table, and that soup was very hot. And then Albert Einstein, he said, "Oh, it's too hot." That was hot. He was not able to take it. And then parents, they were surprised. Are he can speak. This is what sign of intellect is. Extraordinary genius. They don't speak unnecessarily. So if you have a habit of too much of gossips, stop it. Don't be too talkative. You are indicating me. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm bound to. I'm bound to. Otherwise, I generally don't speak much. Okay. And the same things people have been talking for me also. Sometimes I had small those functions at my home very frequently. And one elderly gentleman, he used to be there. He did not have his good eyesight. He used to have specs and still was not able to see. But then when I reached there, I was young child like you. I hardly used to speak. I never visited anybody's residence also. It generally was not liked by me. Though I had my own very close friendly circle, and that is still there. Very close friendly circle. Beyond that, it's okay. That is how sometimes even when people call me outside in public functions, I generally don't do that. And political functions, hardly. Anyhow, that this is what is a sign of intellect, that they speak less. That from Albert Einstein you can think of. Okay, then When something is immethodical, that disturbs. Immethodical. Okay. When there are no systems being followed, these people they get disturbed. That also is there. Like classical music listening, it's a help for you to raise your intellect powers. Meditative music, you can call it, or classical music, or visiting the nature, looking at trees, looking at like anything, even if you look at the buildings and all that, that is a sign of intellect. If you are completely engrossed in your work, when you don't even come to know about the presence of somebody, that is a sign of intellect. When you can completely focus yourself, and if you very frequently get a disturbance from somebody, that means your performance may not be expected to be good. I'll tell you examples of two focused persons. Focused. When they read something or when they do something, you go on moving. They may not get disturbed. They will not even come to know who has come and who has gone. They will never. Because they are completely focused on it. A great mathematician was there in IIT Kanpur. Great mathematician. And he used to work for hours together, 10 hours together. Even when they work for such a long time now, they never get tired. They are as fresh as they started with. So he was working and he always was overworked. He worked for longer hours. And there was a day when he shifted his accommodation from one place to the other place. He was still working in that. On that first day, the wife was knowing about it, that the fellow will be engrossed in his task so much that he may unnecessarily go and disturb those new occupants of the old flat. Followed? Like he will go to the same old flat. The wife was knowing because of his total engagement in the task. And then she sent her daughter, "Okay, go and be there at the gate. When your father comes, bring him here." You see, when your father comes, bring him here. And then, while he was coming out of the gate, he just started thinking of where my where my residence is. And he started asking us, "Hey, could you tell me my residence?" And then that girl child, she said, "Papa, I have come only for that purpose. Come." And then for a short while he failed to recognize even his daughter. Then he realized this is what it is. This is even Albert Einstein. His examples are given that he even did not remember his own telephone number. Do you know that? And if you have that pride of saying, "I remember 10 telephone numbers," it's unwanted task. When you can store the things, there is no use of it. You remember only one, your own. That's it. Though sometimes your father's, your mother's, your brother's, your sister's telephone number